This week on the Digital Coffee, Twitter verification is coming back. Facebook is going to make some more changes. And YouTube is adding automated chapter stops. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. If you are watching on Facebook, hello. If you are watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching on Facebook and you leave a comment, you will automatically get sent a message that will give you a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper, which you can take away and read in your own time. If you're watching on YouTube, but that's okay. You can just let me know you want a copy and I'll make sure you get it. So, good morning. We have some people here already. If you don't know what to comment, I have a question of the week. And the question of the week is, do you mind that now on every single social network we have stories? Do you mind? If you've got no opinion on that, or you do not wish to voice your opinion on that, you can let me know what is in your mug. What is in your mug? Is it tea or coffee? This is our digital coffee break after all. And finally, if you don't want to tell me any of that, just say hello. You'll still get the message. When you get the message, you also get a chance to subscribe for a notification for next week's show through the chat bot. So you'll get a notification, I think it's 15 minutes before the show. So people have already answered the question. Lee is here. She's answered 2 questions already. She's having coffee. We all know I get jealous of people drinking coffee because I'm not allowed coffee till after the show. And also Lee is saying that she doesn't mind having stories on all social networks. I just have to move this up so I can see what I'm saying. Doesn't bother me, but I don't use them all, only on Instagram, and I have it automatically sent over to Facebook. You know, I think that's the key thing, isn't it? You just because there are stories on Twitter, you don't have to use them. You only need to use them in the places where you think it's important to use them. And maybe that's just going to be one place. Good morning to Barbara Edwards, who hates having them all on different platforms. Good morning to Sandra. Great to hear you. There's a lot of hate going on for Twitter stories, I have to say. Thank you. Evelyn is here. She loves stories and she's just finished a milky latte. Well, I'd almost be allowed one of those because there's not as much caffeine in, right? But I like strong coffee. Will we get on with the news? Will I stop babbling? Okay then.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Getting your Twitter profile verified can be great for your business. It shows that you're legitimate, you're a real person, hopefully that you're trustworthy. But since 2017, we haven't been able to apply to get verified. There were some issues. Twitter were verifying people that they admit they shouldn't have been verifying, so they just closed down the process. They just closed it down. But it is coming back in 2021 and Twitter want your feedback. The new Twitter verification process means that some people who are verified are going to lose their profile. It also means that they've selected some key categories of people they want to verify, and it's a lot, so I'm going to have to read it. It is government, companies, brands and non-profit organisations, news, entertainment, sports, activists, organisations and other influential individuals. That is their list of the type of accounts that they're going to verify. Good to see that businesses and brands are in there because that's us. They haven't quite outlined in their press release what the process is, but if you want to have your say on the verification process, they actually have a survey that you can fill out. And I'm going to link to the article which links to the survey so you can see what it's all about. When we finish the show, I will link to it underneath so that you can have a read and you can have your say. I love that they are actually getting feedback from people here. It's one of the things that is unexpected from a social network. Normally, and we'll come to that soon, they just dump changes on us. So yeah, I'm definitely going to apply for verification this time round. I did once before and I didn't get it and went into a sulk and didn't bother again, but I'm definitely going to try it because I do think in a world where anyone can create a Twitter account, having that verified badge just means you're real. And that's all I really want. It's not the kudos of having the badge, it's us being real. Okay, so good morning, Kerry. Great to see you. How are you doing? And Evelyn, looking forward to Twitter verification coming back. Are you going to go for it? Let me know if you're going to go for your Twitter verification.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching A Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Can I ask you a question? Are you frustrated and annoyed by all the changes that have been happening in Facebook recently? Are you? Well, I've got some bad news for you. They're changing something else. They are changing the Facebook page layout, although it seems to be more than just a new page layout. They're calling it the new page experience. This is what it's going to look like. Now, the really worrying thing about this, is that Facebook say it's going to be easier to navigate. Now, I've heard that before. I do believe that they said Business Suite was going to make it easier for businesses to use Facebook. No, it didn't. So that's the first worrying thing. Hopefully, this will be the last layer of change we see. They're just testing at the moment, so we don't know when they're going to roll it out fully. So it is a change of layout, a change of lots of other bits and pieces. But there is some good news. There is some good news with this too. Firstly, I've put the wrong... You don't want to see that yet. Firstly, there is going to be a more prominent pages feed. So you can already do this, but you will be able to go and follow other company pages as your page. And the feed will be very prominent. So as your business, you will be able to go in and engage with those posts as your business, which is really great for building relationships with other businesses and brands that might share your target market. They're going to make that easier. And the second thing that I kind of think is good is they're getting rid of the like button. No more like button. Now it is going to be a follow button. And we kind of know that they've been skewing towards this for a while. And the reason I'm happy about this is you could have 100 people liking your page, but they could have all hidden your posts. So in reality, that would be 0 followers. Nobody's ever going to see your post. With followers, they are actually people who have chosen to follow your content. So you get a better idea of what your audience is, what it consists of. So I think that's good. I'm sure it's going to be painful. I'm sure we're going to hate it. I'm sure we've had enough of changes, but hopefully this will be the last one for a good while. So people are, here's Shane. Shane, you are like me. You applied twice, got 2 PFOs, and like you, sulked and didn't apply again. You know what? I wouldn't even tell anyone I'd applied at the time. I was like, that's embarrassing. It's a bit embarrassing. It's a bit embarrassing. Don't tell anyone about that. Evelyn says defo. I guess that means you're going to apply for verification. Lee, does that mean yes, you are going to apply for verification? Let's hope that they do actually. I think the days of it being a badge of honor should be over. Verification should be about the fact that you're a real person or a real business. Yes, Barbara. That is exactly how I feel about Facebook at the moment. Just taking deep breaths and hope it will all resolve itself soon.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, I find messaging businesses on Instagram, on my phone, or any messaging I have to do a real pain. Because if you know me, you know this. I am absolutely terrible at typing on my phone. Like, you'd think I'd stop doing it because I am so bad at it. That autocorrect thing catches me every time. I just put out gobbledygook. So if I had to go and type in a long message to a business on Instagram, it's going to be full of mistakes. And as a business, you know, that could be putting off other fat-fingered people from messaging your business. So this new thing, which I've kind of previewed in the previous video, is going to help that. If you've got questions that your customers commonly ask you by direct messaging, you'll be able to set up some prompts for those frequently asked questions, and they will appear when somebody goes to send you a message. They'll appear as prompts. So somebody like me will be able just to click one of those frequently asked questions, but I could still just go and type in whatever I was going to type in instead. Now, this is, again, it's just in the testing phase at the moment, and I imagine this is going to be connected to the chatbots that they're going to allow us to integrate into Instagram now. It looks exactly the same way as it does on Facebook, which I know just means more Facebookification of Instagram, but I do think it could be very helpful both to the business and to, so that you don't have to type the same answer every time, and to the person that is leaving the message in the first place. Lots of comments here, so let's just go have a look. Shane, has anyone else seen reduced engagement on Facebook pages, Facebook in the past month? Mine has dropped off something terrible in the past month, and I'm doing nothing different than before. Actually, Shane, yeah, I've seen somebody else mentioned it to me, because I don't keep a key eye on my Facebook stats anymore. But somebody mentioned it to me, and definitely on my Facebook page is absolutely dire. I'm getting less reach and less engagement, even though I'm not doing that much different. I do change my strategy now and then. I think, for me, I find it harder to use Facebook on desktop. It's fine on mobile, and then I can't type on mobile. So I think maybe that could be it. I don't know. I'm just getting. No, the yes means Facebook changes. Yeah, I know, Lee. We've both been pulling our hair out about the Facebook changes. Yes, totally agree. The Twitter verification, the tick should be an indication that you're real. Yeah, it shouldn't just be a special thing they give to people. Yeah, I can't give my Facebook any energy at all. It's just got, I think on desktop, because we didn't really notice it. So if you're a desktop Facebook user, and I know a lot of my audience are, because we're all small businesses working away during the day, it has become just a hideous experience. You've got tea, Ginny, and you've just finished your porridge. Ginny, I'm waiting for a video from you. I want to see a video from you. Just saying. Yes, Shane's saying cheers. I thought I'd been blocked or muted. I've seen some ridiculously low reach on some of my posts, but the thing is, this is the key thing that I do, and the videos that I'm putting on YouTube. So I've stopped worrying about it a little bit, which is why I hadn't checked recently. Okay, let's get on with some more news.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
I managed to play it till the end. I'm really happy. Adding chapter stops on YouTube, totally worth it. Love chapter stops on YouTube, but it's a real pain, because what you have to do is you have to watch the video, you have to pause the video at the right time, you have to write down your timestamp, and then you have to go into your description. You have to put those in afterwards and type in what the description is, which is hard enough for new videos that you upload. So I will be spending time on YouTube. Hello, if you're watching on YouTube today, to go and fix this, to put chapter stops in. And they're really handy, because people can jump to the bit of news that they want to see. But it's a pain. And like I said, it's a pain on the ones that you upload. But it's also, what if you went back and did your whole back catalogue? Because we've only had chapter stops, I think, less than a year. Well, obviously, this is something that Google wants for us to do on YouTube, because they are working on making it easier. The first solution they have is automated chapter stops, automated. So that somehow they're going to guess where your chapter stops are, and they are going to put those in automatically, which is interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to do that. They said something about text in their update, but it wasn't particularly clear. So does that mean if text appears on the screen, will they take my little segments with the people saying digital coffee, or will they take the subtitle file and try and work it out from there? Now, obviously they're going to get it wrong a lot, but they must be confident they're also going to get it right a lot. Otherwise they wouldn't be testing this, and they are testing it right now. So that means we do have to be more defined with our videos on YouTube, if we are using that, about where a new bit starts, whether it's by putting a caption card up or whether it is by making sure our subtitles are good quality. The second thing they're doing is more exciting to me. The second thing is that they'll just make it easier for you to add chapter stops yourself. So instead of you having to go through that whole process, you can, in your editing field, you can skip through to the place in the video you would want to add the chapter stop. When you click inside the description box, it will prompt you to add the timestamp there. So it'll make it so it'll take one painful piece out of the process at least. And I do love this happening on YouTube because I think there's a lot we want to say in videos, and sometimes people don't need the whole thing, but we're not losing our audience completely because they can just skip to the bit they need.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
When we think about accessibility of websites, we tend to think about subtitles. We tend to think about alt text. We tend to generally think about two areas of accessibility for people who have either sight difficulties or hearing difficulties. And very rarely do we think beyond that. But TikTok do. TikTok have been working with epilepsy associations around the world to introduce some features that will help people with epilepsy still access the content online. And that's just one thing. There's lots of ways that we can improve accessibility for people with dyslexia, for example. I'm sure there's a whole range of other things I haven't even thought of. Now, this new thing from TikTok, the first thing they're doing is if you upload a video that they deem could perhaps cause a seizure, they will give you a prompt. They will say this video could prompt a seizure. And initially when I saw this, I thought, creators, they're just going to go, oh, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Not all of them, of course. Some people are responsible, but a lot of people won't care. But the second thing kind of incentivizes that, because what's going to happen is when one of those videos pops up in your feed on TikTok, it's going to be blanked out like this. It's going to say it's a photo sensitive warning. It will give you the choice to either watch the video or skip all future videos that are like that, which is brilliant really, because if that's happening, people will be more incentivized to upload content that couldn't cause a seizure. I think this is so innovative from TikTok, and it is one of the things I like about TikTok. They're a very creative and innovative company. I'm really hoping we see the other social networks catch up. I'm just going to go back to our question of the week. I think most of you have answered it. I can't even see it now. Here we go. Just in case you haven't, I would love to know your opinion. Do you like having stories on all social networks? I see a lot of people on Twitter complaining, but I'm still seeing a lot of stories on Twitter. So obviously people don't mind so much.
This is May King from The FOMO Creator, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Branded content tools from Instagram help influencers and creators work in collaboration with brands and disclose everything properly. The first thing that they do is they will add a tag onto the actual post. You'll see that this is a post in collaboration with, and it will tag the brand. Once the brand is tagged, they have additional access to that creator's account. Not everything, but they're able to put some ad spend behind the posts that have been tagged. They're also given some limited access to the statistics around that post, so they'll be able to see. They won't have to rely on the creator to provide them with those statistics. They'll actually be able to see the statistics behind that post. Up until now, you haven't been able to add a brand tag to a reel, but now you will be able to. And it just shows that reels must be taking off, right? It must be, influencers must be using them for them to feel a need to add this branded content tool. This is what it looks like. It's very, very small on the screen, but believe me, at the bottom of the screen there is a tag. They're also adding something else. So I mentioned that a brand could put ad spend behind a branded content post, but up until now it was only a post that was published. You weren't able to do what we would call dark posts. Dark posts are posts that are only used in ads. So for now, a brand will be able to promote and put ad spend behind posts that don't actually appear on the creator's feed. Why would we do this? Why would that be a good thing? I was wondering. Then I started thinking, well, of course, if a creator is working with a brand, they may create 4, 5, 6, 10 posts, but they don't want to put those all on their feed. Because the reason the influencer is influential is because of the stuff they put on their feed. They don't want to change the aesthetic of that. So they may put one post feed up or one story up, but this way you'll have a variety of content that you'll be able to promote to show that you're working with that creator, which I think would be really good. I just have a big thumbs up sign. I feel like I want to give thumbs up to Instagram. And the reason I think Instagram do this stuff is because working with influencers and influencer marketing is, of course, a massive part of what happens on Instagram. So to keep that safe, they need to make sure that it works well for brands, and they need to make sure that that disclosure is actually happening. So that must be the reasoning behind it. Ginny has a question, an answer to my question about stories. Not so keen on fleets. Twitter is such a fast-moving platform. Anywhere there's no need for stories, and I'm confused about reels too. What is the purpose compared to stories? Apart from a quick look on LinkedIn, I don't bother with them. Is it just me though? See, that's the thing. I don't think you necessarily have to use, just because there's a stories platform, you don't have to use it on all the social networks. But when we think about it, it is just a different content type, right? We have photos and videos are a content type we see on every single social network. I think it's just because this is such a new content type, there's been a bit of kickback on it, and because people do think they have to create on every single one of those platforms. I would just focus on whatever your key platform is and use stories there. So for a lot of people, that would be Instagram. I think it's great that you can do it on LinkedIn now because it adds a little personal side to your business. Haven't tried fleets, haven't really watched fleets. But again, if Twitter was your main platform, this is a way that you can keep that engagement level going longer. So I'm actually not anti having it on every platform. I think the more ways we have to communicate, the better. The only one, and it's actually kind of ironic that it's not that I don't like it because it's the only place I pretty much watch them. I would just like Instagram to stop adding features. I think Instagram was good when it did one thing, but hey, that just makes me sound old.
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Snapchat is willing to bribe you to go and post on the platform. They launched something this week called Spotlight. And Spotlight is basically you get to submit a snap video. So like a 10-second video that you have created as part of your Snapchat story to Spotlight. And what this does is it appears in a new feed. There's no function to comment on these things. But Snapchat are going to give, I think it's like 1 million a day, and they're going to split it amongst creators that appear in that Spotlight feed. Not everyone, but the best. And they haven't really told us how they're going to judge that. Is that going to be by views but that's money that you can get for using Snapchat. Now, when this first came out, everyone was saying, well, this is like TikTok. They've stolen TikTok. But essentially, I mean, this has been there since Snapchat have had stories, right? You could create 10-second videos as part of your Snapchat story. They're just taking that out of the longer story format and putting it into this feed. I know that's very small on the screen. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger, because I'm just going to cover my face for a second. But at the bottom right hand side there's a little play button. That's where you're going to find it. And I'm telling you, because this is only rolled out in some countries, and those countries include Ireland and the United Kingdom. So if you have a Snapchat account, go and have a look. I went and had a look, and to be honest, it reminded me why I don't use Snapchat. So hopefully we're going to see some better quality stuff there soon, or that they're going to moderate it in some way. I don't know. And that is the end of the Digital Coffee for this week. I will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat place. It is December next week. I can't believe 2020 is almost over. So I will look forward to seeing you then. Don't forget, this also goes out on YouTube. So if you are watching YouTube, on YouTube, do let me know. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel because you don't need to worry about the chatbot then. YouTube will just automatically tell you 30 minutes before my live broadcast that I'm going live. I'll see you all next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye.